I'm Russell Manning. I'm the Managing Director of Manning Stainton Estate Agents. Yes, if you're thinking of moving at the moment, particularly if you've got a house to move from and you're wanting to sell your existing property, I think it's certainly in your favour now to be thinking about marketing your own house first before you necessarily have found a property to buy. That's not to say that you shouldn't be looking around, getting a feel of what's out there, but you clearly need to know what you can get for your own house before you can really sensibly start to think about offering on another property. And the only way to do that is to test it in the market, see what sort of interest there is, what sort of offers come forward, and so on. Also, what it does is enable you to not have to sell it under great pressure. There's nothing worse than having to do anything under pressure. It often means things don't always work out the way you would like. So testing the market, I think, is a very worthwhile objective. Once you've made that decision, really, that you'd like to move, I think that's the most important thing, I would say. If you've reached that point and it's, yes, given all the right considerations, we would like to move, then I think do your homework, get some mortgage advice again, make sure you're able to borrow the amount that you would need to borrow to make the difference between your own house and the next one. Get an idea of what's out there in the market, make sure there's stuff around in the price range that you want. Get your own house properly assessed. Don't be tempted to overvalue it, overprice it, because it will probably not attract the right sort of level of interest. There's a lot of choice for buyers out there at the moment, so clearly the value that properties that they see is very significant. And place it on the market at a competitive price, gets people coming to have a look at it, gets you some feedback, and as soon as you've got some positive interest, then you can start to think about looking more seriously for one to buy and hopefully link the two together. I think with this, as with most things, best to get good advice, get all your facts and figures together first, get an assessment of your own property done, good mortgage advice, get some ideas of what's in the market to buy, all the facts and figures. I think you'll find then that the process becomes far less random and more likely to achieve a successful result. Over the last few months, we've seen quite a lot of speculation in the media about whether you should be buying, not buying, selling, and there's a little bit of nervousness out there at the moment. I don't think there's any question about that. I often say to people that the key for me is to be thinking about this as a move to a home, not necessarily, an investment that's going to turn into a pot of gold overnight, that it satisfies your needs, your family's needs, your requirements for location to work, schools, and all that sort of thing. Because it's all very well everybody sitting tight and worrying about house prices, but at the end of the day, we've all got lives to live as well. And I think just be careful. Don't rush into something and then be sorry. Take your time. Think about what you're doing. Look around the market. And I think when you take a considered approach to most things, you'll often find you get the result that you want. A house purchase for me is never a short-term thing. It should be a medium to long-term view. And I think the property market fundamentals here in the UK are good. There's very little new build going on at the moment, which doesn't satisfy the demand that there is. We know in the suburban areas of the city of Leeds and places like Leeds, there's very little new build going on in reality. The suburbs are very popular and it's where people want to be. Be cautious, be careful, but don't let it put you off because you're looking probably at a 5 to 10 year view, and in which case you'll probably have no problems at all.